You know what's funny? House of the Dragon managed to make House Valerian one of the coolest looking families in the entire franchise, but has really been letting us down with two of its most important characters. Because according to Fire and Blood, Baela and Rhaena aren't just Daemon's daughters, they're two completely different women shaped by the same family tragedy. They got different strengths and fears and different relationships with their father that I feel the show has yet to fully explore. Maybe not that it won't, but it hasn't. George does tell one story while the show gives us another story around these characters, or I guess a quicker story surrounding these characters. Because my fear is that I think House of the Dragon could miss an opportunity to make Baela and Rhaena two of the most interesting characters in the series, so long as they keep some of the key aspects that make their characters really cool in the first place. First, let's give the actresses their flowers. Bethany Antonia as Baela has this natural confidence on the screen. She kills it, absolutely. Even when she isn't saying much, she has a presence that makes you believe she fits into this world of dragons and kings. Phoebe Campbell brings something completely different to Rhaena, softer, more thoughtful. You can almost see the insecurities coming off of her before she even speaks a word. I will say the character does annoy me a bit, but I'm not taking that away from the actress because I feel that's the way the creators intended for Phoebe to play her. So, to me, the casting isn't the issue. In fact, visually, I think House Velaryon is one of the best creative decisions the show ever made. Corlys looks legendary, Lena looked incredible, Baela and Rhaena are a great addition, part Targaryen, part Velaryon. Love the hairstyles and the whole aesthetic surrounding the Velaryon family. Look, the problem is the writing might be holding them back from their full potential. Like, think about your favorite House of the Dragon character. Is it Daemon? It's probably Daemon. If it's not, maybe Aemon, Otto, Rhaenyra, Sir Kristen Cole if you're the kind of person that likes to lick poles in the winter. I'm just saying it's probably not a wise decision. Whether you love them or hate them, they all carry some weight and presence in the show, even if that presence is that of drinking orange juice after brushing your teeth. They feel like full-formed characters. Now, Baela and Rhaena, I hear a lot of complaints from people because with them, it isn't the same. Now, let's be fair, there is still more to come. There's the rest of this season, plus another season left to go where we can and hopefully will get to see more of who they are as people, as characters. Because it's not because they're boring in the books, it's because the show doesn't spend enough time letting us know them. Instead, they often have them standing behind someone else while history is happening, which is understandable because for the first couple seasons, they either weren't born yet or were children. So I don't know why people aren't giving them the chance that they need. Let's start with Baela. Book readers know exactly why people love her. She's basically Daemon with better manners, which admittedly isn't saying much. Baela is bold, she's fearless, she speaks her mind, she rides Moondancer like she stole it. She's the kind of character who walks into danger because danger gave her a nasty look. She has that same fire that Daemon does. The same confidence, the same willingness to ignore common sense reasoning if it gets in the way of doing something extraordinary. The show has flashes of this confidence. She supports Jace. She speaks up from time to time. More so, the series has gone on and she's gotten older. They've showcased a lot more of that. I'm hoping moving forward we'll see her part of the bigger driving force toward the story. Most of the time she's reacting instead of acting, so I'm looking for that shift personally, and I can see why some people have sidelined her. But the show tells us she's important. The book let her prove it. We just need that link that bridges the two. Now here's where I think the missed opportunity gets a little bigger. Daemon's relationship with his daughter, because Baela isn't just any noble woman, she's Daemon Targaryen's daughter, one of the most unpredictable men in Westeros. That relationship should have been fascinating. Does she admire him? Does she resent him? Is she desperate for his approval? Is she afraid of being too much like him? These, to me, are great questions that we need answers to. Questions the show barely asks, or rather, they haven't had the time to ask. We can tell she doesn't like him, so I'm hoping they do slow down and make the time for these kinds of questions to come up and provide a satisfying answer to. And this is where some of my qualms with the show are. I understand that they probably didn't have enough time, right, to explore this relationship. I get it. But it actually wasn't as strained as it is here in the show from what I know it is to be in the book. A lot of the time, Damon often feels emotionally closer to Rhaenyra's children than his own daughter, which isn't really true in the book. I'm surprised Baela doesn't call him out directly on this for disappearing emotionally after her mother died. She does this with Jace, but knowing she is much more like Damon, I'm surprised she wasn't itching to butt heads with him. I think those moments would have made both characters stronger. I think, and what I'm looking forward to seeing in future episodes, hopefully, something like this kind of happens. Now, let's talk about Rhaena real quick. Because in some ways, I think her story hurts even more. The show doesn't really do a good job, at least so far, of making you really feel that pain and sympathy for this character. Like, imagine being born into the most famous dragon riding family in history, and you're the only kid who doesn't have one. Every dinner table conversation reminds you, every family gathering reminds you, every battle reminds you, your sister has a dragon, your cousin has a dragon, your father is practically a dragon, and you're just kind of there, being and taking up space and stuff. Rhaena is sometimes even just kind of annoying. She is constantly messing up. Every decision she makes usually ends up making life worse for others, which is a super unfortunate thing because I feel like I should be sympathetic for this character given all the aforementioned reasons. Even if she messes up, just the attempt at trying, I should feel for her, but I kind of don't. For some reason, the show hasn't been able to make me feel any type of way for her. The ultimate question always ringing in her mind is, what does it even mean to be a Targaryen if I can't do the one thing we're famous for? What's the point of even being part of this family when I'm not really useful in any way? And that's super heavy. Instead, she often feels like she's waiting for the plot to remember her. Now, season 3 looks like it's taken her story in a very different direction by giving her Sheep Stealer, a dragon that in the book is famously connected to Nettles. Now, I believe they wanted to do this because if they had the original character, then Rhaena would have had nothing to do, I guess. And this is where things got really interesting because Nettles isn't just another dragon seed like the others we've seen. Somewhere along the line, she's one of the most fascinating characters I think George R. R. Martin has ever created. Unlike almost every other dragon rider, she doesn't simply claim a dragon through what appears to be an inherited blood bond. She earns Sheep Stealer's trust patiently, intelligently. She feeds him sheep every single day until he basically accepts her. It's one of those few moments in the lore that quietly asks a very dangerous question. What if dragons aren't only about blood? What if they're also about patience, intelligence, and relationship? Another way to acquire a dragon completely messes with the Targaryen way of doing things. By giving that storyline to Rhaena, the show is making a completely different statement. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't. I'm keeping an open mind as we progress through the rest of the series. But it also means Nettles, the woman who challenged everything people thought they knew about Targaryens, may never get the spotlight she deserves. And that's disappointing because she brought something very genuinely unique to this world and was a genuinely, authentically original dark-skinned character with major impact on what happened. For Rhaena, though, this could finally become the emotional payoff she's been waiting for, that we've been waiting for, but it's really not starting off great. Because her story was never really about getting a dragon, even though it is right now. It was about feeling worthy. If season 3 and 4 lean away from that, it could completely change how fans look at her. And honestly, I kind of hope it does, because I'm not looking at her in the greatest of light at the current moment. So if you can redeem her in some kind of way, I'm here for it. Because both Baela and Rhaena deserve more than just being remembered as Daemon's daughters on the side over here. They deserve to be remembered as great characters of their own. And I think there's a lot of opportunity with what's available, given what the show wants to do, take things a little bit of a different direction, like the Nettles, Rhaena, Sheep Stealer switch over. So for now, I'm chopping that up to, well, you know what, the first half of the story, the first 2 seasons, couldn't really involve these two very much. Completely understandable. But now that they're older and they have dragons, and the story's shifting away from some of the older characters, some of which are just dead now, and has given room to grow out these characters in the next season and a half. Not a lot of time because these seasons are so short. So I hope there is enough time to do what needs to be done and they don't rush to the finish. But what do you guys think? Did House of the Dragon fumble Baela and Rhaena? Or are they just playing the long game? Maybe you just hate these characters all together. I know Rhaena is like, eh. But let me know down below. And that's it for the video. If you enjoyed, you'll love the next one coming up. But until then, like, comment, and share this out.